Canada has just announced a major travel ban targeting 10 Asian countries. The government says it's about national security and stopping immigration fraud, but critics are calling it discriminatory and extreme. This decision is already causing family separations, job losses, and global backlash. In this video, we'll break down who's affected, why this is happening, and what it means for Canada and the world. 1. China. China, one of Canada's largest trading partners, is now facing strict travel restrictions. The Canadian government says this decision is based on national security concerns. Officials have raised alarms over cyber attacks, possible spying, and growing undocumented migration from China. There are also fears that the Chinese government has tried to interfere in Canadian elections. But critics see this as retaliation. Canada and China have had a rocky relationship for years, especially after the arrest of Huawei's CFO in Vancouver, and recent diplomatic disputes have only made things worse. This travel ban stops the issuing of new visas to Chinese nationals, and those who already have visas may now face extra screening or even denial at the border. Businesses are already warning about serious consequences. Chinese students are a major source of income for Canadian universities, and cutting them off could cost billions. Tech and trade partnerships may also suffer. Many see this as a risky move that could damage both economies while worsening already tense diplomatic ties. Some believe Canada is protecting itself. Others believe it's taking a step that could backfire. 2. India. India is by far the most affected by Canada's new travel ban. In 2022 alone, more than 118,000 Indians became permanent residents of Canada. India is Canada's top source of immigrants, students, and temporary workers. Now, that flow has suddenly been blocked. The Canadian government says the reasons are serious. They claim that thousands of immigration applications from India include fake documents, fake bank statements, fake job letters, and fake college certificates. They also say that many people from India enter the country on temporary visas but never leave, which increases the number of undocumented residents. But critics argue that something else is going on. Diplomatic tensions between Canada and India have risen sharply. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau recently accused the Indian government of involvement in the assassination of a Sikh separatist leader in Canada. India strongly denied the claim and responded by suspending visas for Canadians. Many believe Canada's new ban is a direct response to that incident. The consequences are heartbreaking. Thousands of Indian students who were planning to study in Canada are now stuck. Many already paid tuition or borrowed money, and now their dreams are in danger. Families hoping to reunite are now facing years of separation. Industries like healthcare, trucking, and technology depend heavily on Indian workers, and employers are warning that labor shortages could get worse. India is not staying silent. Officials are already threatening to block Canadian travelers and businesses. They may also raise taxes on Canadian imports like lentils, hurting Canadian farmers. If tensions keep rising, this could turn into a full diplomatic breakdown. Supporters say Canada must stop fraud and manage immigration numbers. Critics say this move is discriminatory, economically damaging, and politically driven. 3. Pakistan. Pakistan has long been under watch by Canadian immigration authorities due to concerns about fake documents and possible security threats. The new travel ban tightens these restrictions even further, with most visa processing now on hold. The Canadian government says this is needed to prevent illegal immigration and protect public safety. But human rights groups are raising alarm. Many Pakistani citizens who face religious persecution, such as Christians, Shia Muslims, and Ahmadis, often turn to Canada for safety. With the ban in place, these vulnerable groups now have one less option for escape. Critics argue that this policy puts security over humanity. Instead of targeting individuals who pose real risks, they believe the government is punishing entire populations. At the same time, others argue that Canada's immigration system is overwhelmed and changes are needed. The debate continues, but the people caught in the middle are already suffering. 4. Philippines. The Philippines has long been one of Canada's main sources of temporary foreign workers. Filipino nurses, caregivers, and laborers are honestly essential in so many Canadian industries. But under the new ban, this labor pipeline is being sharply cut. The Canadian government says there are 3 reasons behind this move. First, they say Canada has become too dependent on Filipino workers, which, discourages local hiring. Second, they point to a rise in fake job offers and fraudulent documents being used in visa applications. Some recruitment agencies in the Philippines are even accused of charging huge fees while giving false promises of employment. Third, the government says that backlogs in permanent residency applications are getting worse, and the ban will help reduce the pressure. But honestly, this decision has caused deep harm. Canadian hospitals and long-term care homes really rely on Filipino nurses and staff, and they already face worker shortages. Without these workers, patient care could suffer. Thousands of Filipino applicants who were ready to move to Canada are now stuck. Many have taken loans or even sold property to pay for their migration process, and now they are just left in debt. Family reunification is also affected. Many Filipinos working in Canada were waiting to bring over spouses or children, and now that dream is on hold. The Philippines also relies heavily on money sent home by overseas workers. In 2023, Filipinos in Canada sent home over $1.5 billion. That support is now in danger. Recruitment companies in the Philippines focused on Canada may collapse. Desperate workers might turn to smugglers or fake agents. The Philippine government hasn't officially responded yet, but may choose to push back. This could include new rules for Canadian companies working in the Philippines or expanding job programs with Europe and the Middle East instead. Supporters of the ban say Canada must protect its workers and fight fraud. Critics argue this will hurt both countries and punish honest, hardworking people who followed the rules. 5. Iran. Iran has been facing international restrictions for many years, and now Canada's new travel ban makes it even harder for Iranians to enter the country. The government says it made this decision due to terrorism risks and fears of spying. This means that most students, tourists, and even refugees from Iran are no longer allowed to enter Canada. Iranian Canadians say this is unfair and honestly, really painful. They feel like their entire community is being punished for the actions of a few. Many families are now separated. Students who worked hard for years and were accepted into Canadian universities have seen their futures vanish overnight. Some believe this ban is more about politics than safety. They argue that Canada should focus on screening individuals, not shutting out entire populations. The debate is emotional and complex, and for many, it's deeply personal. 6. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka has been struggling with a major economic crisis. Inflation is high, jobs are scarce, and basic services have pretty much collapsed. Many people have tried to escape, and Canada was a popular destination. But that escape route has now been blocked. Canada's government says the ban is due to increasing asylum fraud and rising cases of human smuggling from Sri Lanka. Refugee support groups are worried that desperate people will now turn to dangerous smugglers or unsafe routes. The ban also affects those who were trying to bring their families to safety. Now, many are left with no options. This decision has sparked criticism from human rights organizations, who believe Canada is turning its back on those who need help the most. 7. Bangladesh. Bangladesh is another country facing the travel ban. Canada says the decision is due to problems with visa overstays and fake marriages used to get permanent residency. With nearly 100,000 people of Bangladeshi origin living in Canada, the effects of this ban are being felt immediately. Many families now face delays or even cancellations of sponsorship applications. Students and workers who had opportunities lined up in Canada are now left waiting without answers. The business community is also worried as the ban may affect trade and investment. Once again, critics say that Canada is punishing a whole population for the actions of a few. Others say the immigration system is overstretched and needs reform. 8. Vietnam. Vietnam has become a growing source of skilled workers, especially in the tech industry. Canadian companies have hired Vietnamese programmers, engineers, and digital professionals to help fill labor shortages. Now, with the travel ban in place, that supply of talent is cut off. The government says the move is about maintaining the integrity of the immigration process. But tech companies are upset. They say the decision is a mistake that hurts Canada's economy. One company leader even called it a self-inflicted brain drain. They believe Canada is pushing away the very people it needs to stay competitive in the global tech race. For Vietnam, this ban also means fewer job opportunities for its young professionals. 9. Nepal. Nepal depends heavily on remittances sent home by workers living abroad. Canada has been one of the destinations where Nepalese citizens go to earn money to support their families. Now that opportunity is being shut down. The travel ban has blocked thousands of workers who were in the process of applying for Canadian jobs. This has created a major financial risk for many Nepalese families, especially in rural areas where work is hard to find. Local agencies that helped people apply for jobs in Canada are also shutting down, creating job losses inside Nepal itself. This may push some people to seek illegal or risky ways to migrate. The damage is already being felt, and it may get worse in the months ahead. 10. North Korea. North Korea has long been under travel restrictions worldwide. But now Canada has closed even the few remaining pathways that existed. Very few people from North Korea were entering Canada to begin with, but this policy seals the door completely. It's mostly symbolic, but it shows that Canada is taking a hard line across the board. Canada says this ban is about security and control. Critics say it's unfair and harmful. So, did Canada make the right call, or is this a costly mistake? Tell us what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. We'll keep you updated as this story unfolds.